How's it going, everybody? This is RBT coming at you with my Week 6 NFL prediction video. Gonna make this short and sweet like last week. It was pretty short last week, so why don't we go ahead and get started, make it quick. Alright, so the first game of the week is a Thursday night game, the Giants at the Chicago Bears. Why would you pick the Giants in this game? They've been playing absolutely horrible, 0-5 in the season. Only the fourth time in their history they've started 0-5. It's looking bad. Everybody's looking bad. Can't run the football. Eli Manning's making too many turnovers. Defense playing bad. Offensive line is horrible. No chance. They beat the Chicago Bears, who've been playing pretty well. I know Brandon Marshall in that offense is kind of hungry for a win after last week's loss. They got beat by the Saints. You know, they played the Saints pretty good, and the Saints have been looking good. So no problem for Chicago. They should win big. I'll go 35-17 Chicago over the Giants. Cincinnati at Buffalo. You have Cincinnati coming off that gutsy defensive performance against the Patriots when they got the W, and you have the Bills were coming off that loss against Cleveland. Their pass defense looked absolutely horrible in this game. I think the Cincinnati comes in here, defense plays well, gets a close one against Buffalo. I think E.J. Manuel's been playing pretty well. I think he'll keep it close for the most part. It won't be absolute insane weather conditions like it was last week in Cincinnati. So it'll be, well, knock on wood, but I think Cincinnati, Andy Dalton, that offense finds a way to pull out the victory against the Buffalo Bills. It's tough, though. It's tough playing in Buffalo. The Cincinnati Bengals will squeak out a victory. I'll go 24-17. Let's go, 24-17 Bengals over the Bills. Next, we have the Detroit Lions at the Cleveland Browns. If Brian Hoyer was not lost for the season, and playing in this game, I think I might go Cleveland in an upset victory, but Detroit's been playing very well. Actually been looking pretty good. They're 3-2, I believe, right now. Yeah, 3-2. They couldn't get anything going last week against the Packers, but Calvin Johnson was out in that game, and maybe he'll be back. But either way, I think Cleveland Browns are a complete different team without Brian Hoyer and with Brandon Weeden at quarterback. So, I'm going to go with Detroit. That offense, I think, should have a big game, and they should win. I'll go 31-21 over the Browns. Next, we have Philadelphia at Tampa Bay. I'm still not sold on Mike Glennon at the quarterback position for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The team is just so much drama. I think the Eagles go into Tampa Bay and get the W. Coming off a bye week, the Bucs are, which is a good week to be able to regroup after all that drama. But I think Philadelphia is a good team. Mike Vick's going to be out, but I mean, Mike Vick I still think is a better quarterback than Nick Foles, but there's not that much of a drop-off because you saw how Nick Foles played late in last week's game against the Giants. He played very well. So I think Philadelphia goes in, gets a big win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll go 34-21 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Next, we have the Green Bay Packers at the Baltimore Ravens. I think Green Bay should go into Baltimore, get a W. They've been playing well as of late. Packers are, wow, I did not know the Packers were 2-2 on the season. But Baltimore hasn't really impressed me. They've had a huge drop-off like a lot of people expected. They come out a very, very slim victory last week against the Miami Dolphins. Ryan Tannehill did everything he could in that game to make the Dolphins win, but Baltimore came out strong. Got the W. But you got to remember the week before this Baltimore team was beat by Buffalo. So I think very easily Green Bay goes into Baltimore, gets the W. Will Aaron Rodgers have a field day against a Baltimore secondary? I say the Packers win something like 35-21 over the Baltimore Ravens. Next, we have St. Louis at Houston. Houston's been struggling mightily lately, but St. Louis has not been doing much better. They kind of struggled with the Jaguars last week. Still an up-and-coming team, a very young team. Think they go into Houston. Houston regroups, gets the victory. Matt Schaub should have a rebound game, and shows to that whole entire offense of the Houston Texans playing at home. I'll go Houston by. I'll go 10 points. I'll go 27-17 Houston over St. Louis. Next, we have the Oakland Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City got a nitty-gritty win last week against the Tennessee Titans. My Tennessee Titans, but the referees played in that too a little bit. But hey, you can't take anything away from the Kansas City's season thus far. They're one of the few teams. I think there's only 2 teams as of right now that's still undefeated. Could be wrong. Yeah, the 2 teams. I think it's the Chiefs and the Saints. I believe there might be one more, but they've been playing good. Oakland, now they came off a pretty big win for that franchise last week against the or last night against the Chargers. So Terrell Pryor played pretty good, and the defense played pretty good of the Oakland Raiders, because up to that game, Phillip Rivers has been having pretty good games. He's pretty much revamped his career, and they pretty much kept him in check last night. So I think they're going to Kansas City, give him a heck of a game. I think it's going to be extremely close with Kansas City, the ways they've been finding to win with their defense, scoring and coming up with big stops. Alex Smith has been playing pretty well as well. We all know Jamal Charles is one of the top 5 running backs in the NFL. Kansas City gets a close win over Oakland. Oakland comes into Kansas City's ready to play, but Kansas City in a close victory, 27-24 over the Oakland Raiders. Next, we have the Carolina Panthers at the Minnesota Vikings. Panthers coming off a very, very disappointing and close loss last week. A defensive game. It was close. Wait, The Panthers played Cardinals. I'm sorry. I just kind of got confused. I just read an article about Steve Smith. He was bashing the refs, and he's going to get fined for that. But apparently the refs were horrible, according to Steve Smith. And that was a kind of funny article. Go read it if you haven't already. But it was, I think it was a 2-3 touchdown victory for the Cardinals, which is kind of sad. But I think Carolina has a big game this week. I think they can beat Minnesota. Minnesota's not been impressive thus far. They even brought in Josh Freeman to compete for the starting quarterback job, because their quarterbacks have been subpar, to say the least, and that's unacceptable when you have a guy like Adrian Peterson on offense, because they load the box, and if they could get a good quarterback there in Minnesota, they could be a dangerous team. But too many guys focusing on Adrian Peterson, and that sucks for him, because he's far and beyond one of the best running back in the NFL right now. So that sucks for him, but I think Carolina goes in, defense has a big game, stops Adrian Peterson, because they don't have to worry about the passing game. I think Cam Newton in that offense comes back, has a big game, and I think Carolina wins by a touchdown. I'll go 31-24 Carolina over Minnesota. Next we have Pittsburgh at New York. And Pittsburgh, man, they've not been playing well, but I'm still not a believer in the New York Jets. I know they beat the Falcons tonight, but still, I'm not a believer in them whatsoever. I think Geno Smith is way too inconsistent, but that's expected out of rookies. Defense isn't all that spectacular, and aside from Santonio Holmes, if I'm a team playing the Jets, I'm not afraid of anybody on that offense, quite frankly. And I think this is a game that Pittsburgh could win coming off a bye week. Pittsburgh is still winless on the season, which is absolutely insane. Are they 0-5? They're 0-4 right now, so that's insane. I think they pick up the first win in MetLife Stadium. I think they beat the Jets in a low-scoring game. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Jets' defense is pretty good, but they're not everything that a lot of people make them out to be. So I think they go into a MetLife Stadium and get the win over the Jets in a low-scoring game, 14-10 over the New York Jets. Next, we have my Tennessee Titans at the Seattle Seahawks. And as much as I hate to say it, I think with Jake Locker in this game, it could be completely different. I know the Colts went into Seattle, or played Seattle at home last week, and came back and beat them. So they are beatable. I think we match up well with the Colts, the Titans, but without Jake Locker, I don't think we have a chance, really. The Seattle's defense is too good. Offense is really good. I know our defense has been playing much better, but it's not enough to allow us to outscore Seattle. I think Seattle wins this game by 10 points. I have to make a preview video, which is hard to do when you talk about your team losing, but I have to do it. I want to be honest in my videos. So, it sucks, though, because we are having such a great season. Then our Jake Locker, who was finally coming into his mold, looking like he's ready to take the realms and lead his team to a playoff contention, comes out, gets hurt. Ryan Fitzpatrick turns the ball over a ton. So that really didn't help us out, because we played so well up to last week, because we hadn't turned the ball over one time up to that game. And that all began with the first fumble recovery for a touchdown for the Chiefs, which really gave them the momentum and gave them the win, really. But I'll go Seattle 28-17 over my Titans. And that score might change after I think about it some more after this video, when I make my full preview video for that. I'll probably link that with an annotation on the screen or something like that. Alright, next we have Jacksonville at Denver. Oh dear God. Enough said. They're the best team in the NFL playing against the worst team in the NFL. Enough said. Peyton Manning will have a field day. They're going to play great, playing at home. It will be no contest. Denver's huge, 45 to 14 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. It'll be sad. All right, next we have Arizona at San Francisco. San Francisco coming off a big win, a very big win against the Texans. Made them look pathetic, really. 34-3. That was sad. But Arizona coming off a big win themselves. They beat Panthers pretty good and held them in check. So I think the Cardinals have a very good defense, and I think they could keep San Francisco in check for most of the game. But I think it comes down to which defense is better, and I believe the San Francisco 49ers defense is better. And playing at home in front of that environment, it'll be tough for Arizona to get the win away from their home stadium. Colin Kaepernick, Frank Gore, and that receiving core, I think, comes up huge and makes a few more plays in Arizona. I think that division is getting very difficult, though. The lower tier teams are getting better and better slowly. I think San Francisco wins closer than some people might expect, but I'll go San Francisco 27-21 over the Arizona Cardinals. And next we have an extremely good game, and this might take me a second to pick here, but we had the New Orleans Saints going into New England to play the New England Patriots. New England, I'm still not completely sold on that offense. We know Tom Brady is one of the best, if not the best quarterback in football, kind of debatable right now between him and Peyton Manning. But Saints have been playing unstoppable right now, 5-0 in the season. Big reasons because Rex Ryan's really revamped that defense, and the defense is looking very good, along with that offense, which we know is one of the best, if not the best, or maybe second best behind the Denver Broncos in the NFL right now. So I think they can go into New England, outscore the Patriots. I think the Patriots do come back, and offense really much is really going to be revamped coming off of last week's bad performance. They're going to be angry and want a performance over people that they're for real. But we'll have to see if the receiving core can step up, if Amendola and Gronkowski can come back healthy and have a big game. But I think, like I said, New England scores some points, but New Orleans outscores the Patriots. I'll go 31-21 New Orleans over New England. Next we have Washington at Dallas. Washington, we know, has not been playing that well this season. They're coming off a bye week, and we have the Dallas Cowboys coming off that disappointing, heartbreaking loss to the Denver Broncos. So we know the Dallas Cowboys can score some points, and Tony Romo can throw some yards. He actually broke the Cowboys franchise record for passing yards in a game. And you have Washington, who's not been playing that great. I mean, RG3's taking him a while to get back into his groove. Doesn't look like he's near 100%, not running the football as well, and he's making some bad decisions throwing the football. Now they're 1-3, and they're coming off a bye week in the first one of the season against the Oakland Raiders. They haven't been they've really competed in their games. They have a close loss against the Philadelphia Eagles, which they almost came back in that game, and not too big of a loss against the Lions the week before their first win against the Raiders, and they were blown out by the Packers. Big reason why their defense can't stop the run. They just can't stop anybody in general. I mean, Robert Griffin, he's throwing the ball around, but he doesn't look 100% not running the ball as well. And Alfred Morris isn't really having the big season as he had a year ago, which was, I think, expected by some people because he just came out of nowhere last season. But I think Washington, they'll be getting better over time. As RG3 progresses, gets more and more healthy, the team will get more and more better because, I mean, the team really plays how he plays. So I'm not sure if Washington can go back to the playoffs. I think it might take them another draft or so to get back in a playoff contention to really help out that defense. The defense is not looking good at all. I think Dallas will throw the ball extremely effectively in this game. Tony Romo should have another big game throwing the football. I think Washington might keep it close in the first half, but Dallas comes out in the second half, gets a big win. I'll go 42-28 Dallas over Washington. And alright, my annual video length prediction. I'm going to say this video has gone 17 minutes. 14, wow, this is actually pretty quick. Alright, let's wrap this up quickly. We have the Indianapolis Colts at the San Diego Chargers. The Colts leading the division right now, which is kind of surprising to me. But not surprising in a way because we know Andrew Luck's going to turn into one of the best. If he's not already top 5, top 10 NFL quarterbacks right now, might be top 5. Or maybe mid between top 5, top 10, something like that. But he's impressive nonetheless. The defense has been playing good for the Colts, and the offense as a whole has been playing for the Colts. I mean, that addition for Trent Richardson, I think, has done wonders for them. Now they have a consistent running game and a running back that can really strike some fear into a defense, I believe. And you have San Diego, who has looked good at times this season, but then they come out last week and lay a goose egg not necessarily a goose egg, but not really a great offensive performance as expected against the Raiders. But I still expect Phillip Rivers to have a big game. The offense could score some points in this game and compete with the Colts playing at home on Monday night in front of millions and millions of people watching on Monday Night Football. So expect San Diego to be extremely competitive, more than some people think. I think the whole country is going to be picking the Colts in this game. Playing at home, the San Diego Chargers will keep it close, but I will pick the Colts over the Chargers. Too much for the Colts, and hey, right now they look like they can definitely be the leader for the AFC division. Definitely. And hopefully my Titans can catch back up, and hopefully I think we could potentially take both games from the Colts. More realistically, one out of the other, and maybe get swept. But I think more optimistically, it's not impossible to take both games from the Colts, but it really depends on how healthy Jake Locker is for that time. And I think he should be back by that time. But whatever, that didn't have anything to do with that. But I'll go Colts 35, San Diego Chargers 24-27. I'll go 24. So that's been it, guys. Hope you enjoyed my NFL Week 6 predictions. If this is your first video you ever clicked on of mine, make sure to go and subscribe so you will not miss my prediction and preview videos every single week. You will not regret it. Please leave a like if you haven't already. Please follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/S3RTR. And as always, roll tide, go Sox, go Titans to you. Have a great day, and see you next time. Peace.